Hello and welcome to my Pecha Kucha. I hope I pronounced that right. This presentation marks the end of a term in our Internet for Educators course. We've added a bunch of great new tools to our teaching toolbox. We've heard from some great speakers, and of course, who can forget the snacks? Asked me before I took this course if I was tech savvy. I'd be, yeah, for sure. What kid my age isn't? Somebody asked me if I could use it in a classroom. I'd be, I don't see why not. But then I came to realize that the stuff that I was actually using the internet for wasn't educational.
Y'all ready for this?
Pretty quick in this course that there's a lot more out there than just guys dancing with dogs and big hockey hits. And that if I wanted to use technology in the classroom, I'd have to find an educational purpose. I'd have to find something that I could show the kids and that they learn from, like this podcast from TED Talks.
I quickly found this. The furthest point from the center of the Earth is not the tip of Mount Everest, like I might have thought. It's the tip of this mountain, Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador. The Earth spins, of course, as it travels around the sun, so the Earth bulges a little bit around the middle, like some Earthlings. And even though Mount Chimborazo isn't the tallest mountain in the Andes, it's 1 degree away from the equator. It's riding that bulge, and so the summit of Chimborazo is the furthest point on Earth from the center of the Earth. And it is really fun to say. So I immediately decided.
There, I hope you guys learned something. It was pretty rare that we didn't learn anything in our Internet for Educators course. On one of the very first days, I learned how to make an online business card using About Me, which can be found with a simple Google search of my name. I also learned how to create my own personal learning network, and I was amazed how much of it was done online or done by using a device. In time, the only I wasn't really using a device was when I was talking to somebody. Now, we've also talked a lot about digital citizenship and digital footprints. As future teachers in a technology-based world, we're going to have to prepare our student for using technology. They must understand how to use technology appropriately, so students should try to represent themselves as though they are out in public or in a room full of people. And they must understand that they leave a footprint of where they've been or who they are as soon as they sign on to a computer or log into a browser. The reason this is so important is because of the way our education system is going. We've had several guest speakers come in and talk to us about one-to-one computing and BYOD, or bring your own device. This is where each student in the classroom is going to have their own laptop or device to work on. This concept can be intimidating to some teachers, so not only did we talk about the big issues in technology, we've also talked about ways of incorporating into the classroom, and this course has allowed us to create a better technology toolbox. Here we started with infographics. This is an online poster that can easily be made. I made a QR code poster where a student can just come scan the QR code with a device and it'll link you right to a YouTube video showing you how to throw in handball. Next up we have is blogging. Blogging can be used in a number of ways in the classroom. A teacher can use it to post homework to let parents and students know what's going on. Students could journal on it. And if something fun or exciting happened in the class that day, a teacher can post about it. A teacher can also use podcasts in the classroom. They're a great way of finding information because there are tons of various topics and they can load on any device. In fact, the clip I showed you earlier is from a TED Talks podcast. We've also talked a lot about using Twitter in the classroom. Up until this point, I've strictly used Twitter for social reasons, checking out my favorite comics, NFL superstars, or staying in touch with your favorite senior hockey team, the Minnesota Bombers. I've never really thought about using Twitter in a classroom, but we've had some speakers talk to us about it, and they use hashtags to categorize tweets to have class discussions. There's also some great educational figures to follow on Twitter too, with some great info. I've also just started using Google Hangouts to talk to people. Teachers can use this by bringing in a guest speaker from all around the world, or having a pen pal system with a class, say, in Brazil. When I first started using YouTube, I literally only looked up hockey hits, hockey fights, and then funny dog stuff. But then I realized that there's a ton of great educational stuff on there, like the channel 6 Science or PE Games, and so there are many ways you could use online video in the classroom. And finally, we have educational apps. Anyone that's been to the App Store have seen that there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of apps. And I'm not just talking mini games like Flappy Bird or Angry Birds. I'm talking educational apps, and all it takes is just a little bit of digging around to find one that you can implement into your classroom. The biggest thing I learned from this course is that technology is always going to continue to grow, and we as teachers have to grow with it because we always want to reach that high level of engagement with our students. Thanks for watching my presentation.